There is a distinct psychological difference between being afraid of the dark and the creeping dread of realizing the thing standing next to you is a hostile imposter. Mehul is the heir to a global construction empire. To prove his competence to his father, he accepts a renovation assignment on a remote property far from the safety of his boardroom. This map identifies the New Mexico territory, the specific region of the American Southwest where the project is located. It is an area defined by its extreme physical distance from any major urban center. The property is buried within miles of dense pine forest. Local legend warns of a wilderness that can swallow people without a single trace. Mehul's safety net disappears the moment he arrives. His cousin Ratan, the site manager, is missing. In his place are 3 silent local workers who offer no explanation for Ratan's absence. As night falls, the corporate anxiety of the project fades, replaced by primal isolation. Mehul is alone, vulnerable, and trapped in a forest that doesn't want him there. The first break in reality occurs during dinner. A violent knocking rattles the door, and the first worker to investigate simply vanishes into the darkness. The second worker steps outside and immediately succumbs to a bizarre, hypnotic state. He stops dead in his tracks, standing perfectly still while staring into the pitch-black woods. From a second-floor window, Mehul watches the third worker walk out. The man doesn't look at the trees. He turns and stares directly up at Mehul with a lifeless, fixed intent. These entities are methodically baiting Mehul into the open, using the silence of his own crew as a psychological weapon. Mehul manages to reach the property owner by phone. The owner is not surprised by the situation. He speaks with the calm of someone who has seen this scenario play out before. The owner instructs, "Go to the basement. Enter the left door. Avoid the right." Inside, Mehul finds a pre-staged cache, a crossbow, and poisoned arrows. A foul stench radiates from the right door, signaling something inside is already dead. The sound of the front door splintering echoes through the floorboards. The hostile mimics have entered the house. The landowner didn't provide renovation tools. He provided a cache of poisoned weapons and a tactical map for a premeditated war zone. Mehul fires at the first figure he sees in the kitchen. As the poisoned arrow hits, the human form collapses and contorts, stretching into a gray, expanding monster before it hits the floor. Knowing the house is no longer a sanctuary, Mehul flees into the woods, trading the safety of the walls for the chaotic uncertainty of the forest. The darkness gives the shapeshifters a massive tactical advantage. Mehul is now blind, outnumbered, and fighting predators in their native environment. A physical ambush from the trees ends with Mehul being thrown against a rock. His crossbow is crushed under the weight of the creature, leaving him entirely without his primary defense. Mehul is left bleeding and exhausted in the dirt. He has no weapons left, and the predators hunting him still have his cousin's face. Just as Mehul reaches his limit, Ratan emerges from the trees. He looks wounded and desperate, reaching out to Mehul for help. As they embrace, Mehul notices the same foul stench of the basement clinging to Ratan's skin. It is the smell of a week-old corpse. Using a broken arrow, Mehul stabs the imposter through the heart. He watches his cousin's face melt away into the features of a skinwalker. Mehul had to discard every instinct of familial loyalty just to survive the night. To live, he had to treat his cousin's face like a target. After the sun rises, Mehul returns to the house. He kicks open the forbidden door on the right side of the basement. Stacked in the corner are the rotting bodies of the 3 workers and the real Ratan. They have been dead for days. The renovation was a cover. The landowner needed a way to clear the property of skinwalkers before a sale, and the Mehta and Sons crew were simply the expendable tools chosen to flush the infestation into the open. Ancient folklore describes the monsters in the trees. In New Mexico, corporate greed simply bought them a fresh supply of victims.